Now we start off with First News here in Nigeria. And on the front page of First Newspaper, of course, everyone's talking politics and elections within the country. The big story here says, Labour Party in the throes of fresh crisis. As party Peter Obi campaign organization bicker over unveiling of campaign council. Party not officially involved in planning yet to approve program. List of presidential campaign council members due to unresolved issues, and several other sub-stories under this as well. Now let's go to the top, still talking politics in Nigeria. 2023, Wike appoints 14,000 advisors, 359 liaison officers. Why? You might want to find out by getting the First Newspaper. IMF to Nigeria, make clear policy decisions to control inflation. Still on front page, UK malls tightening visa rules for Nigerian students over high influx of family members. Now, we've been having conversations about Japa, according to how it's referred to here in Nigeria, which is the phenomenon that requires people to leave the country because they're looking for a better life. There have been tweets as well about this, talking about people Nigerians regulating how much information they're putting as regards, maybe criticizing people who are trying to Japa, because what their concern is that the UK will tighten regulations, and we're starting to see that happening in the news as well.
Yeah.
All right, still moving on. Thai security as Buhari confers national honor on 440 Nigerians and 7 foreigners, except Osage, Blessings and I. Still on the front page, I think I can squeeze in a few more stories here. 2023, lawyer gives Tinubu Atiku Obi 14 days to make medical, academic and records public. PDP crisis, ignoring Wike, 4 governors, others discouraging, according to Senator Namani. 1.1 billion naira fraud, 100 million naira went to Obasanjo's re-election campaign, says Dariye. Several other stories, I'll just squeeze in one here. PVCs ready by November as INEC deletes 2.7 million over double registration. That's all that we can take this morning on the front page of the First News. Let's head over to another paper.
Well, let's go to Tanzania now, and a very interesting one there. If you look at the front page, why goat meat is Tanzania's next goal.
Is that
interesting? Yes, in Nigeria it's called, asun if it's prepared in a particular way in southwestern part of Nigeria. But
if it's prepared in another way, it's called unkwobi.
Yes, in the southeastern part of Nigeria. This is pretty interesting, actually. Or Isiewu, also in the southwestern part of Nigeria, where there is just the head of the goat. But here's the thing, they're not talking about eating it now. They're talking about exporting goat meat. So Tanzania is exporting goat meat. And of course, it says its meat exports have been growing steadily in the past few months, driven mostly by imports of goat meat in Qatar, the UAE, Bahrain, Oman, and Kuwait. So we probably need to eat less of asun and make more money for our country.
How do you think CR7 is going to take this news? I mean, he's the GOAT.
All right. Still on the Citizen newspapers this morning, revealed acute shortage of critical care nurses. The total number of nurses in Tanzania currently stands at about 60,000, but only about 100 are qualified to provide critical care at health facilities across the country. Regulator mulls new rules to curb health insurance fraud. That's on page 4 of the Citizen this morning. And on top of the screen, let me just quickly share a national review. Education reforms to focus on self-employment. And also, Mahalu blames lecturers for law school failures. Finally, in business, government's commitment to internet use. That's on page 12. And these are the big ones on the Citizen newspapers this morning.
Now let's head over to Kenya. Let's take a look at the Daily Nation. On the front page of the Daily Nation, politics. Opposition leaders attack key decisions made by the head of state. Raila takes on Ruto on page 7. Azimio La Umoja won Kenya coalition chiefs Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka attack President William Ruto's government over the rising cost of living and the lifting of a decade-long ban on genetically modified organisms, that's of course GMOs. I was wondering when next we hear from Raila Odinga. So yeah, it's good to hear from you. It's like, oh, it's been a while, long time. Good to hear from you. Still on the front page, why sugar prices are on steep rise, and that's on page 12. And national exams to start on November 28th, says Magoha. Marking will be completed in December and results released by January 23rd next year. Economy, 10 state firms to be listed in 1 year. Up to 10 government-owned firms could be listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange within a year, President William Ruto says. And final story, COVID scandal. 1.6 billion shillings vaccine doses can't be traced. says audit. The national and county governments cannot account for about 3 million COVID-19 vaccine doses worth at least 1.6 billion, a damning special audit report has revealed. COVID scandals happening around different parts of the continent.
Yeah.
But that's all that we can take this morning. In Uganda,
and outside the continent, there's also a little bit of controversy with regards, if
Kenya.
the truth was really told
Yeah.
with regards the vaccinations and the vaccines, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's certainly my last story from Kenya. Let's head over to Uganda.
Let's go to the Daily Monitor and see what we can find. Over 7,000 SACCOs miss PDM money. It says here, government says only 3,200 of the targeted 10,594 SACCOs across the country have been declared to receive parish development model cash after meeting the requirements. Read more of that on page 4. Outbreak, Ebola death confirmed in Kampala. And also, Kenyan gets 2-year jail term for stalking DPP. We can also find here, beating Busoga chief and 6 others sent to prison. Makerere to waive tuition for 40 girls. That's also something you can find here. And of course, up on the screen there, Chief Justice hires 8 top lawyers to defend him.
Wow.